Join me and my son Eli on day 4 of our 7-day Caribbean cruise aboard Icon of the Seas, where we visit the brand new to cruise passengers port of Ponce, Puerto Rico. I'll give you all the scoop on if I think this port is a great addition to the Caribbean itinerary. We have our first specialty dining meal of the night and unfortunately end on a bad note when one of us was slapped across the face. Okay, so we're getting ready to go to Ponce, and this is what I'm wearing. It's cool and light. Got some shorts on today. Did nothing with my makeup and hair, but I did wear my little hidden money belt today that I wore in my Safety for Solos video, which I'll put a link to here. And I'm carrying my bag, but now I don't have to dig down in this big bag, you know, to dig for money. It's just right here and easily accessible. You can even put it like under your shorts if you wanted to. Let me see. Well, it's hard to do this with one hand, but there you go. You could put it under your shorts there, and it doesn't even show. It just looks like I have a little extra mom pouch. So we're ready to go. I don't know what we're going to find in Ponce. We're getting a late start. I think it's about 10:30, but I let Eli have some extra sleep time. And we're just going to walk around. Now, you can't walk to anything from this port. You have to take a shuttle from the port to downtown, but the ship is offering a free shuttle to downtown. So let's go explore Ponce. Today's port was Ponce, Puerto Rico. You've probably never heard of Ponce because as of today, it very rarely accepts cruise ships with passengers. According to the website Discover Puerto Rico, it frequently takes ships in on technical calls, but right now, very few passenger ships. So there wasn't a lot of information available for this port. There weren't a lot of ship-included excursions, and the ones that they did offer didn't sound that interesting to me. So we just decided we would take the free transport bus that they provided to the historic city center, which was about a 20-minute ride away, and we would just explore on our own. The first part of Ponce looked like the typical American town, and then you started seeing the colorful buildings and the architecture changed, and you could tell you were getting very close to the beautiful historic center of Ponce.
The last bus is at 4:30, okay? Make sure that before 4:30 you are here. The bus are gonna keep it here around. You have the church, the Fire Museum, a lot of stores and restaurants. Have a great day in Ponce.
I'll start out by telling you what I have since learned in hindsight. This was the first visit from Icon of the Seas to the port of Ponce, so it was a really big deal since this port usually does not receive passengers. And they laid out the red carpet for us. So they hadn't got all the kinks worked out yet. There was lots of loud and different music coming from like every other building, it seemed like. There were tons of vendors set up on all the streets, people standing outside of the restaurants and stores beckoning you to come in, but not harassing, just greeting you as you would come in. It was a bit overwhelming having all the sounds happening at once, especially as we got into the main area of town. Now we made our way out of the alley street and headed towards the central square. And that's where we found Parque de Bombas. This is one of the island's most iconic landmarks and is the oldest fire station. It served as the city's main firehouse for over a century. And now, today, it operates as a museum honoring the city's brave firefighters and rich heritage. After walking around for what was about an hour, it was definitely time to eat. And there was an abundance of food stands and food trucks parked along the square. And I settled in on this one that had bacalaitos, which are salted codfish fritters. This is a traditional Puerto Rican snack, typically eaten with an entire meal and served at the beach and festivals. They are crispy on the outside and dense and chewy on the inside. And I got a beef empanada and then headed for a shady spot to sit down and enjoy my meal. And when I say that it was worth getting off the boat just to eat this, I really mean it from the bottom of my heart. Eli was not so keen on eating street food because there were no Google ratings, so he got something to eat later. But he was patient with me while I enjoyed my delicious empanada, and I hate it that he really missed out this time. Bad decision, Eli. Now it was just back to wandering the streets a little more, and we caught some street art in the process of going up, and I do love street art wherever I go, so this was a really nice find. Okay, so I kind of walked over to a quiet spot in a little alleyway to tell you guys this. Ponce is a bit overwhelming. It's like the buses just dropped us off in this section of downtown that is full of colorful buildings, a lot of old architecture that's fun to look at, but the music, they're blasting different music from like every other business, mixed with the live music, mixed with the thousands of people from the cruise ship. And the heat, I'm gonna say this time Ponce is not for us. The street food I tried was delicious, but honestly, we're about to make our way back to the bus pickup place and just go back to the ship. The fire station would have been cool to look at, but the line was very, very, very long, and I'm just not feeling it. So not every port is for everybody, and this one is not for us. Now, if I were to come here and there were no cruise ship docked, then I could walk around and explore the town and the parks and eat more of the food, but today is not the day. So back to the ship we go, guys. Now, I will say that the quieter areas were just lovely to explore. And we did find some hidden gems, some more beautiful street art. But perhaps the best find of the day was made by Eli. He spotted this Pikachu from across the street in this small local gallery and literally squealed with delight. So we had to go in and check it out. The best thing about this is that we found out it was made by the owner's 7-year-old son, and Eli bought it with the rest of his birthday money and had it shipped home. And for this mama, having your 14-year-old son spend the rest of his birthday money on locally made art definitely made Ponce worth getting off the boat. On our way back to the bus, we passed this cute little mini train tram, and people were getting their pictures made through the window. It turns out you can actually get a little tour through the city on this. I thought that would have been a really fun thing if we had noticed this earlier. So keep that in mind if you ever visit Ponce.
Thanks for discouraging me.
Over there, guys.
Back on board, I decided to grab a drink and plant my butt in a chair and rest up a little before dinner. Okay, I got a little rest and now I'm heading to Dueling Pianos. I'm excited that I get to catch this early in the day and I don't have to stay up late to see it. And Eli may or may not meet me there. We'll see. I highly doubt it. But if you're curious about what Dueling Pianos is like, I'm about to show you. Nope, I'm not. Somehow I got things confused, and there was something happening at the venue Dueling Pianos, but it wasn't the actual Dueling Pianos show. But instead, it was 90s music trivia. That's right up my alley, so I decided to stay anyways.
Obvious cuts of the songs, and then you'll be able to know what the correct name of the tune is. Whoever gets the highest point will get a fantastic Royal Caribbean prize from me. Can anybody guess what that is? Yes, but I have something a little extra for you today.
2 keychains!
Who can guess what the little extra is? Bingo certificates, yes, that's right, but something else. A good time, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. We're gonna have a good time in Dueling Pianos on this fantastic hot day. If you're just walking in, come in, welcome.
I didn't win, but I got 13 out of 16, so not too shabby. And a quick little reminder that happy hour on board is between 4 and 6, and you can get $6 margaritas. I was usually napping during this time, so put it in your notes. Don't miss that. And with my happy hour margarita in hand, I grabbed a couple of slices of pizza to hold me over until dinner. Okay. So I'm back in the cabin. I really thought that Dueling Pianos was happening at 3:30, but turns out it was Name That Tune 90s edition trivia at Dueling Pianos, which was just as fun because I got 13 out of 15 right. And actually, Dueling Pianos is tonight. So I did manage to snag us a reservation at Giovanni's. I didn't do chops for tonight. I know I keep being wishy-washy and going back and forth on where I'm going to eat, but I'm just kind of sick of the MDR food. And I needed to switch it up tonight. So I'll get to see Dueling Pianos after that. But I got to just give a little update on the solo aspect of cruising on Royal Caribbean, because although I'm not solo, you guys know that Eli has not been interested in hanging out with me much on this ship, and we've only had 2 port days, so that leaves me solo a lot of the time. And while they do have self-led solo meetups, you know, I didn't go to those because I am with Eli. And when I'm by myself on this ship, I just feel really alone. That's why I always say that solo travel is a way for you to get to know yourself. What I have learned is that I need people, at least some of the time. And although I'm surrounded by lots and lots of people on this ship, it's a family ship, right? So almost everybody that I see is with their small family, like a mom and dad and their kids, or big, large, extended family groups. So they already have their people. You know, I've talked to a couple of people, I've chit-chatted at the bar or whatnot, and then I just never really see those people again, except maybe in passing, but it's not like we're hanging out or doing anything. And I find I'm a lot more introverted in spaces like this, and I'm a little bored. I haven't found a lot of spaces for me to just lounge by myself and read my Kindle, except out on the sun decks or by the pool. But once again, there's people everywhere, and I feel like when I'm surrounded by massive groups of people and alone, I feel even more alone. So I probably wouldn't do Royal Caribbean solo ever. And I do have the long solo cruise coming up on NCL for Norway and Iceland. And I think that that's going to be good too, because NCL has a great solo program, or so I've heard. So I'll have the opportunity to meet up with some people, you know, and at least find out who else is solo on the ship, because obviously that's important to me. Now, everybody's different. Some people that are really introverted may really enjoy a lot of solitude. I just don't. You know, but I'm not going to let the fact that I'm alone keep me from traveling and experiencing things. I just have to figure out. I just got to figure out I just got to figure out, what type of travel suits me best. And I do love cruising. So what cruise lines are going to fit with my type of solo travel the best? And Royal Caribbean ain't it. I'm willing to put myself in uncomfortable situations to figure these things out, because if you don't do it, you don't know. You don't know until you try, right? So anyways, I just thought I'd do a check-in. It's white night tonight and we're going to Giovanni's, and then afterwards I'm going to the real Dueling Piano show. So I will get to show you guys what Dueling Pianos is like after all. All right, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Well, Eli did reluctantly show up to dinner at Giovanni's with his dear sweet mom, and I was really excited about this meal. Nice change up from the regular MDR food. We were already off to a great start with these yummy looking rolls topped with Parmesan cheese. I don't know what it is about Italian restaurants. They just want to put Parmesan on everything, which I'm definitely not complaining about. My appetizer was the meatball gigante, which was just what it sounds like, a giant, delicious meatball. And Eli had the Italian stromboli, also very, very good. For our main courses, I got the chicken parmesan and Eli got the spaghetti carbonara, but he wasn't aware that his spaghetti carbonara didn't have red sauce, so we ended up switching. I wasn't a fan of the carbonara, but it was still okay, and honestly, there was enough of the first dish that we could just share that. And once again, I was left on my own for dessert. Okay, so end of night recap is a little different this time. I didn't feel so well after dinner. I was barely able to eat my food. I'm just not feeling that great. So I came back to the cabin, got ready for bed, and laid down. And as soon as I did, Eli called and said I needed to come to guest services right away. So I jumped up and threw some clothes on and went downstairs, and apparently there was an altercation between him and another little girl who slapped him across the face in the karaoke lounge. This was a little beef that started a few days ago with the girl making some derogatory comments about Eli. And then there was back and forth every time they would see each other, like her group would see his group, and there was stuff said. And during karaoke, Eli's group sang a song and her group sang a song, and they didn't clap for the girls' group. And she came off stage, walked right up to Eli, said some racist things, and slapped him across the face. So I had to deal with that. We had to sit in the room with security. And they just took our statement, and luckily, they can verify everything with the cameras. They could verify his exact story, where it happened, and they saw what happened. So they are just going to talk to the girl and her parents and give me an update tomorrow. And they just said he could go hang out with his friends and just stay away from her. But, there's always going to be things that happen with kids. What I'm really proud of is the way that Eli handled it, that he went straight to security instead of escalating the situation any further. He was very embarrassed, and, because it happened in front of his whole little new group of friends and everything, and he was trying to hold in his emotions, but he handled it well, so that was a proud mama moment. And also, I was happy with the way that Royal Caribbean's security handled it for the most part. I wish that when he had told the security officer at the karaoke place and the girl was walking by and Eli pointed her out, I think that they should have gotten her then and taken care of it then, because Eli didn't know her name. So now they're having to go through the facial recognition stuff and go try to find this girl and her parents. Other than that, I think that they did handle it well. And just remember, you know, when you have your kids on a cruise ship, anything that happens, like this girl straight up slapped him across the face. So they're going to have to report that to authorities like it was assault, whether I want them to or not. Because I was like, no, you know, they're young. I'd rather just do something to keep her away from my son. Obviously, I don't want her talking to him. I don't want her stirring the pot up anymore and causing any more conflict. But, you know, I don't feel comfortable with the police getting involved either. But they were like, it's not up to you. You know, that's just something we have to do on our end to cover ourselves also, so that we're not neglectful, because she did assault him. So might want to have a good talking to with your kids about stuff like that, you know, because kids will be kids, but it could have been worse. Anyways, that's how my night's ending tonight. And I am letting him go hang out. He had 2 cute little girls waiting for him the whole time and checking on him to make sure he was okay. And as soon as we came out of that security office, they were like, "Are you okay, Eli? Is everything okay?" And his little tears dried up real fast, and he started blushing a little bit, and they were going to walk with him to go watch this flow rider competition. So it may have worked out in his favor, because the mama hen girls were hovering around him. I thought that was super cute. So I'm sure I'll have some stories to hear when he gets back to the cabin tonight. So anyways, guys, that has been my day so far. Not very eventful, other than the fun time we had at port today in Ponce. I mean, you know, I wouldn't say we had a fun time. I had some really good food, and I think I'm just feeling a little run down. I hope that that's all that it is. So I'm going to get a really good night's sleep. And I don't have anything major planned for tomorrow. The last 2 days are sea days, and we do have shows to go to at the end of the night, but nothing major other than the water park. So hopefully I'm feeling up to the water park tomorrow. I'm going to conserve my energy. So that's all for now. I'll see you guys in the next video. And until then, as always, happy cruising.